Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting installment of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your boy, Double B, Bad Blood, the franchise player, joined here with my boy, Tony DeBurn. Tony, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Oh, man, it's another day in the world of professional wrestling, the beauty of it all, man. And today, we got some hitters on the podcast today. We got like a legend. We got a legend. We got an up and coming legend. We got like some great stuff going on, man. So let me ask you this, Tony. It being St. Patrick's Day, did you wear green? Yeah, you sucker. I didn't wear green at all. Oh man. I mean,
wear green just about every day, man.
I think I taped a $5 bill to my jacket so I didn't get pinched by anybody, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not Irish. But anyway, let's just jump right into it, man. I mean, we can talk all night here on the podcast, but I got two amazing guests in the green room right now waiting to talk about the great things that they're doing. And first and foremost, let's bring on an amazing woman who is doing the most with her athletic ability, helping women, further their physicality, so to speak, kind of building the building blocks of professionalism. And she's got a huge fight coming up like Saturday, man, like the 26th.
The 26th, that's correct. Friday the 26th.
Friday the 26th, that's right. That's
going to be taking place in Rock Hill, South Carolina for Southpaw Promotions.
Now, Southpaw Promotions is like one of the premier boxing and MMA production promotions out there right now, and this lady is knocking people the fuck out. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring in the queen of the ring herself, Lei'D Tapa. Welcome.
Hi.
Hey, how are you doing tonight?
What's that?
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for coming into the roundtable and grabbing a seat here and hanging out with us.
No, this is awesome. I'm excited. I don't like interviews and podcasts. I was getting nervous.
Well, like I said, it's just three cool people hanging out, shooting the shit like we do here.
Yep, pretty much.
So tell us, what have you been up to? What's going on with you?
Well, right now I'm getting ready for my boxing fight Friday, March 26th in Rock Hill, South Carolina for Southpaw Promotions. So that's been my focus. It's not easy to step in the ring and fight like that. So I always want to make sure I'm like on point with everything and my training. So I feel great.
I know I've been watching your Instagram and I've been watching you train, and you're just, man, you're ready. I wouldn't want to get in the ring with you and have you mad at me. I've seen some of the stuff you've done.
I feel ready. You have down.
Man, it's crazy. I mean, let's talk stats. You're like 5'11". You're a tall lady. You're a beast in the ring. I mean, you've got a lineage with your uncle being the Barbarian, trained by George South at Ohio Valley Wrestling. So the wrestling, like, you've done it all. You've been in Impact. You've been, you actually won the freaking what was that? The gut check. Yeah.
That's when I first started wrestling, and I just seen there was like a seminar in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I thought, man, let me just go down there so I can learn more about wrestling, because I was literally trained for like 5 months, and then seeing that and thought, okay, wow, have a character together. I want to go down there and learn more about wrestling, and so I went down there to do the seminar and didn't think anything like they would pick me up or anything, because I was like, I'm pretty still new, so I had more to learn. So that was my mindset going down there, not thinking that I was gonna get an opportunity. I thought I'm gonna just learn more about wrestling.
In this business, sometimes the opportunity is just like when you're there, sometimes they just pop up out of nowhere. I mean, some great things have happened because of that. It's so cool. So this foundation that you have going, let's talk about that, because I mean, I really want to get that out there for some of the women that listen to this podcast.
Yeah, so I started Women of the Carolinas Fight Life nonprofit. It came about, it was just an idea, like a seed planted in my head, like when in 2016, I kept thinking about meeting different women in combat sports and in wrestling. And I would think about like how I can help them, you know, as far as how do you be a strong woman, or like learn how to just maneuver and be your own business, if that makes sense. Like how do you represent yourself, or and how do you get sponsors, and how do you do different things. So I just started learning from other people, asking questions, and then I would just tell them, hey, I think you can do this or that. But then I noticed, besides the business aspect of being a woman in a combat sports of boxing, MMA, or jiu-jitsu, even in wrestling, how do you, where do you start? Who are you? And a lot of it, a lot of the women that I would talk to, I noticed that a lot of them didn't really have the tools or really believe in themselves. Like, and I'm like, you got to believe in yourself. Like, it's okay to ask, even if you are wrong or this or that. It's okay to be who you are and stand up for yourself. So I wanted to help them. And by doing that, I talked to some people that did nonprofits, and how I can help women and young girls, not only in combat sports, in wrestling, but just women and young girls in general, in everyday life, of just having confidence in themselves. And, you know, a lot of women, even men, we all go through different things in life. So I wanted to have a platform and outlet for them to come together. And through our programs that we do with Girl Gang Christian Fit, we're able to talk, and we're able to do like physical activity, like self-defense, or learning boxing and stuff like that. And so a lot of the my friends that are pro boxers or MMA fighters, they would come in and be like a mentor to these young women, but we also would build with each other, you know, as far as how can I help you. Basically, it's like a big sisterhood of queens, and we're just building each other up.
I like that.
I
like
love
that.
it. Yeah.
We need more things like that in this industry. You know, wrestling has taken a real big hit during this whole speak out movement, and something positive like this is like phenomenal. You know, and International Women's Day just happened. I really wish it would have had you on for that day. This would have been some really inspirational stuff. Yeah, it would have been really inspirational to have you on the show. John Perry says he misses you in TNA, and that you were one of his favorites. That's pretty cool, John. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Hey, don't worry, I'll be back after that. So yeah, thank you though. That means a lot. Make sure
That's
you
awesome.
my fight too.
Oh yes. Just ladies and gentlemen, you need to watch this lady. You need to go watch this fight. So go out and support. I mean, there's so many great things going on with her, and you need to really kind of check out some of the cool stuff that's going on. So let's talk about the wrestling. Like, let's talk about what your experience in the ring. Like, you know, we have a guy, James Beard, who was a NWA official for a long time, legendary referee, just like a great mind in professional wrestling. He's going to be on after you. So I really like having people who are influential in the business on the podcast for younger people who are watching right now. If, you know, we have a young referee in our promotion. He just turned 17, I believe, 16,
That's
17.
right. 17 years old.
Yeah, 17 years old. And he is so, what's the word I'm looking for here? He listens. He listens and he follows direction. And he's a sponge, and he watches everything that people do. We have a lot of ladies that work with our company too. And a lot of them are actually listening to the podcast and watching it. And you're an inspiration. So,
Oh,
as a woman in this business, what what am I trying to say here? What advice would you give a woman in this business starting out?
I would say if it's something that you really want to do, like wrestling, just find a school that in your city. Because a lot of women would hit me up and ask me about that, and I would tell them wherever you live, I'm sure there's a wrestling school. So if you start there and learn the basics, and then eventually you'll get the flow of it and start molding into who you want to be in the ring, you know, as far as practicing the character that you want to be, um, and being yourself, having confidence in yourself. Because sometimes, like me, for me, I even had to grow. I was so nervous when I first started wrestling. You wouldn't believe this. George South was like, okay, I want you to throw your body back on this mat. It's called a bump. You know what I mean? For real, because I see everybody taking bumps, and I never, you know, wrestled or anything. I sat there and I said, oh my gosh, like that looks like it hurts, you know? And he was showing me how to do it and protect myself. And I was like, I don't know about all this. I stood there for a few seconds and I looked around and I'm like, ah. And then after that, you know what I did? I grabbed the second rope and I rolled back. And George was like, okay, let's get up, okay?
Oh man. I
And
mean, you know,
felt,
I've gone through the same thing when I first started wrestling, man. Taking that first bump was like, oh my God, this is gonna be a killer. You
yeah.
know?
And then I took that first bump and I was like, oh, that's not bad. And then ever since then, I was like, okay, I ain't scared to like hit this mat because I didn't know like the sound make it so woo, but it does, you know, really like whiplash your head or hurt your arms or your elbow. So my advice to anyone just out there starting, if it's something you want to do, go for it. Like I'm the type of person that believes when never limit yourself. Everyone's
I
like,
like
you know,
that.
you do that, you do that. It's because I feel like we only have one life to live. If it's in your heart and it's your goal to go try something, go for it. Like no one can stop you but yourself. And you never know where it could take you in life. Something's
I
gonna
like
come
that.
together for you.
I like that. That's some see, ladies and gentlemen, that's some real positive stuff right there.
It
I
is.
love the positivity. I love the fact that you're so humble. Um, being such a dominant force in the industry, you're so nice and so sweet and so humble. You know, it's like you
That's
don't
what
get that too much. And
when I see you on TV or something, you look like you're gonna rip somebody's head off and I start itch. You gotta flip itch. And
There's a
stop.
balance to it.
man, so let's say you're a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, like you're just tossing people left and right. um,
Jitsu.
let,
That there.
let's talk about like some of your disciplines, so to speak.
My discipline, I just I'm a very focused person. So when I set out to do things, I just stick to it. Um, whatever avenue I go, like I'm very focused. If I'm doing women of the fight life, everything like the way my life is, it's like I have this, and this, but it's like I shift gears when I'm have to do this and then I come back over here. It's like multitasking. So I just keep my focus like really sharp and I just never quit, you know? I'm not a, for me, when it comes to wrestling and combat sports, to me, I feel like, you know, my size, I'm normally bigger than a lot of the girls, but then I stand next to a 6 foot tall girl or a 6'1", and I'm like, I'm not so little like this, you know? So when it comes to my discipline, even for my fight, show up. When I step in the gym, everything outside of the gym stays out and I come in just to focus on the craft. You know, that's how I am, the flip the switch. I'm like
Love it.
this thing that I do. Um, crazy because we're sitting here talking. This is me, the real me, like outside of wrestling and fighting. When it's time to step in the ring for wrestling, I'm a different person. When it's time to fight, I'm a different person because I'm like, it's either my head or yours. I gotta flip that switch.
Somebody's head needs to be on a swivel, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, I just
Well,
love helping people. I love seeing growth. I love seeing people reach their goals and their dreams. And I'm the type of person, it doesn't matter like if you've been on TV, if you haven't, to me, we're all the same, you know? We're all the same. We all might do different things, but it doesn't make anyone better than anyone. We're all human, we're all the same. That's how I was,
wow. That's a good way to put it.
you know,
That's
like
a good way to put it.
people that are like, you know, like celebrities and they don't give people time or kind of act funny and stuff. I don't believe in that. I'm like, you're the same, just like me. Like, so it's funny. Even when it comes, I call them Team Tapa. Like, I don't like to say fans, you know, I would like to say Team Tapa supporters, because to me, without the support, without them being a part of my journey and growth in combat sports and wrestling, like I wouldn't be who I am today, you know? So it's funny to me when you said when I have to like it's fans, I see them as supporters like that believe in what you're doing and they love to see your growth. And I'm vice versa for whoever reaches out to me or asks me for advice, this and that. I'm vice versa. I like to see everybody grow.
Love it.
Perfectly
Absolutely
spoken.
love it.
Well spoken words. Ladies and gentlemen, Friday. You can see
Right.
this Friday, March 26th, Friday
Yep.
Night Fights. And it's the Southpaw Promotions. This is going to be what, chapter 8?
Chapter 8. Yep.
Rock Hill Gymnastics Center, 400 Mount Gallant Road there in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Doors open at 6 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. You can see it. The fight starts at 7, but you can see it on www.southpawpromotions.com. It's a pay-per-view. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to go check this out. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you do.
This is going to be, you know, and I got to tell you right now, lady, I need a t-shirt. I need one of them, you know, Teen Tapa t-shirts. I seen them on your page, and I was like, well, those are pretty cute. I need one of those.
Got you. You can message me your address and I'll send you guys.
Sweet. I will wear that on the podcast next week. I will support you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. It's an honor and a privilege to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to go check out more information from her, if you want to go look her up on Twitter, real simple, ladies and gentlemen, you can see her right there. It's on the screen right there. I suggest you go like, click, and subscribe. Also, on Facebook, you can look this up right here. That's right.
Yep.
That is the foundation that this woman is.
Fight life.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us, Lei'D Tapa. We'll be right back with.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, with the one and only James Beard.
Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, have been taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, have been taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! All these
When you want to get your hair cut, you go get your hair cut right. You head down to Big D's Barbershop. Big D's Barbershop, Vancouver, Washington's best and brightest. 1019 Main Street, Vancouver, Washington, where you can go get your hair lined up, cuts, fades, shampoos, conditions, and all the great things that go with supporting a local barbershop in a local business area. You can also reach them online at www.bigdsbarbershop.com. Go get your hair cut right.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Great futures do start with the Boys and Girls Club, and we are back here live. Tony, that was awesome, wasn't it?
It was awesome, yeah. And like we said, Friday night fights. That's Friday, March 26th, Rock Hill, South Carolina, Southpaw Promotions. If you can't be there in person, make sure you order the pay-per-view through southpawpromotions.com.
And she's sending us 2 T-shirts. Holler.
Nice.
I love it, man. It's awesome to have people like that on the podcast, especially when
Absolutely.
sometimes you have like so much negativity in the world of professional wrestling. It's so cool to have someone that's so down to earth and, you know, amazing. So,
Yeah, and I like the focus on the positivity. I mean, we're off to a really good start so far here tonight, and I think we're just going to keep on with that theme here in just a moment.
dude, did I tell you? Ladies and gentlemen, I know you're listening to us on Spotify, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, you know, man, all these cool apps, man, you know, we're everywhere. We're literally everywhere. And if you want to watch us on television, Tony.
Yeah, if you want to watch us on television, you can watch us in the Portland, Vancouver, Willamette Valley area, Xfinity, and CenturyLink TV. The first showing Monday nights, 10 p.m. to Channel 11 on Xfinity and Prism. If you missed that, you can try us on Tuesday, 10 p.m., Channel 22 Xfinity, Channel 8002 on Prism. And if you missed that one, you got one more shot to Wednesday night, 9 p.m., Channel 23 Xfinity and Channel 8003 Prism.
That is 3 nights of stellar wrestling action, the hottest podcast on a Wednesday night with some of the greatest professional wrestlers, referees, ring announcers, commentators, MMA, sports, combat sports. Everyone comes to the Roundtable podcast. Man, I'm telling you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you can check us out on Twitter. That's right. The Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast on Twitter. We just started today. I mean, everything's going great. You can support the channel. All you got to do is go to anchor.fm /the Roundtable Podcast /support. Like, click, and subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, we love bringing it here every week for you guys.
Beautiful.
And speaking of bringing it here every week for you guys, there's this kick-ass wrestling show, okay? It's called SWE Fury. Okay, it's Texas wrestling slapping you in the face. Like, I watched a couple shows. My boy Kevin Sullivan is one of the commentators on the show. It's freaking awesome. I got my boy Nigel. He's on the show. One of the best wrestlers in the world, Tim Storm, is on the show. Rodney Mack, the television champion, is on the show. And
it is a who's who of talent.
Miranda Gordy, who was here last week, she's on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But most importantly, my guest is on the show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to mark out real quick because I had this match a couple years ago. I've spent my entire wrestling life wanting to be an NWA guy. The fact that I got to live my dream and hold these beautiful championships behind me and make history and all this other cool stuff, that was really great. But in front of my family, in front of my home fans in Portland, Oregon, I got to live my dream. I got to challenge for the 10 pounds of gold, the legendary NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. And I got to face Tim Storm. But that match was fucking awesome. I'm not going to lie. It was great.
Yeah.
But you know what made that match even more awesome?
What's that?
The fact that a man who's refereed matches with fucking Ric Flair was the referee for my match. Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary James Beard. James.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Welcome to the show, my man. How are you doing tonight?
Doing great. Yeah, doing great. How's
Man.
everything up that way?
You know, we're gonna be opening back up pretty soon, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Great. Yeah, it's starting to open up here a little bit, so it's exciting. You know, we've been struggling for the last couple of years, but it's just getting better.
Absolutely.
Man, you guys have an old school. When I saw like my very first SWE taping, because I found out about this company because of Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah.
Kevin says, you need to watch this, Blood. You need to watch this. This is some good shit. And I was like, really? Where do I find it? And he sent me a YouTube link. I'm like, I know like 80% of the people there.
Exactly.
You know, Crimson and Jack Stain. Like, I'm like, this is a good product. And it's an old school, like, I want to say like old school USWA type of feel.
It's very much done on purpose that way. We,
Yep.
you know, my influences are Texas wrestling, obviously, and Japan. Those are the two places I worked the most, and that's the two styles that we kind of mesh together, and that's what we're trying to do. You know, we're not trying to copy what most promotions come in and do these days and follow the leader. We're trying to make our own path and make our own fan base. And I think we're off to a pretty good start.
You know, that's one of the things
something I am very thankful for. Let me tell
yes, yes, that's one of the things we
You know,
pride ourselves on.
Yeah, we keep hearing that from everybody, you know, and it's something that you have to have a little patience. You have to be a little stubborn, I guess, to do that kind of thing, because everybody wants to follow the leader. Everybody wants to be like the big TV names and that kind of thing, and we're going against the grain and doing it on purpose. This is very much a traditional type wrestling program, and we have some exciting guys too. I mean, we got some guys that can fly around like anybody else can, but
oh yes,
but for the most part, number one, we have rules, which I don't see in most promotions these days.
Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine wrestling a competition without rules. Well, that's the way the wrestling business has gotten in the last several years, and we're going back to where there are rules, there's consequences. Winning and losing means something, and it's really an old traditional school style of thinking, but you know, we're kind of doing it in a modern way, and you know, the production is good, the talent is loving it, and it's been a lot of fun. I've been very, very happy with it. And you're talking about Kevin. Kevin came in and started working with us, and he and Teddy Long and myself put the TV together, and it's been an absolute pleasure working with those guys.
You know, you got a guy that works in your show. I know him very well, and he is what does he call himself? Hollywood Jaden.
Oh yeah, Jaden Lee. Yeah,
Jaden Lee. He is such an amazing talent, man. I work with him in North Dakota. That guy. If there's ever a guy that needs to be pushed to the moon, it is that guy. He has all the tools.
Yeah. Jaden came in. Animal was working with us, Joe Laurinaitis, you know, before he passed away, unfortunately. It's
his father-in-law, isn't it?
His father-in-law. Yeah, that's how I met Jaden. Joe and I went to Missouri and did some training up there with some guys, and actually taped some things up there. And Jaden was there, and that's where I met him. And he came in and worked with us on one taping, and then he came back on another, and he'll be coming back in regularly with us from now on. He's a great guy, great talent, and that's the kind of guys we're looking for. You know, there's some people that haven't been overexposed out there to a lot of fans, you know, and they have talent, and they're you know, the guys that if you put them in the right path, they can do some things that's very exciting.
Definitely. Yeah, we featured Jaden on the show in the past. So, yeah, more of him is always welcome.
As a matter of fact, Jaden will be on the podcast next week. So,
oh, great.
Yeah, we're going to talk.
Yeah, he'll be coming back down here in April for us in Irving on April the 24th, I believe it is, and he'll be back down here with us then. And the plan is for him to be with us on every taping from now on, if possible.
That'd be awesome, man. That would be awesome. And, you know, here at the podcast, I'll tell you this. I can probably speak for Tony here. We would love the opportunity to work with SWE. So if you want to have your guys come on the podcast and hype up your show and talk about your show, send them on, man. We will give you guys all the
I can definitely do that, and we appreciate that support, because that's the kind of thing that's getting out there right now. We keep finding out that so many people are hearing about it and talking about it, and our ratings have really just gone through the roof, and I think people, there's a fan base out there that longs for that kind of wrestling and that kind of approach to it, and we're trying to give it to them, and it just, the word keeps getting out, and I can't tell you how many people call me every day wanting to be on this TV show.
I believe it. I totally believe it.
It's so hard to get it all together, because I've got so many people wanting in, and we got so many people already there, and it's tough. I had no idea that it'd be quite this big of a deal, but it is, and I'm very proud of what we've done. It happened in actually less than 2 years ago when we did the first show, and an old friend of mine, Tom Lance, who was a promoter. He actually promoted back in the world class days. I've known him that long, 30 years. And he asked me, he said, will you book it for me? And I said, sure. I thought it was just going to be a one-time deal. And we went in and did that. And then he said, well, I got another one. And he said, I think we're going to tape this one to see what happens. And he did. And the next thing we know, we're getting calls from streaming companies wanting to put us on. And now we got on broadcast everywhere. And it's just keeps growing and growing and growing. And thank God that the guys that are behind this thing, behind the scenes, like Tom and Jason Jarrett and Randy Klein, and the guys that do all the work behind the scenes that nobody knows about, that they've stuck with this thing and taken us through some of the hardest times of this COVID deal. And we've not only sustained, but we've grown. And it's just been an incredible experience.
Man, I'll tell you, with some of the talent you got on the show, man, like Davey Boy Smith Jr., Charlie Haas, you got Lacey Von Erich out there. You got like names, and you got up and coming stars.
Yeah, a lot of young guys. We're really excited about. You talked about Jaden. Bam Bam Malone was teaming with Jaden a little bit, and he's another one of those young guys. Max Castellanos and Moonshine Mantell they've got a war going on.
Oh, I forgot all about Moonshine Mantell.
Those guys are just killing each other, and that's getting a lot of attention. We've got Gangrel coming in on the next show. Blood Hunter is a guy from who knows where that Selena De La Renta is brought in, and man, he's just killing people too. It's incredible, and the guys get in and they just fight, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for guys who aren't afraid to get in and compete, and that's what we're all about.
Well, you know my phone number, and you know me. I'm always ready to fight somebody.
You're going to get you a match with Blood Hunter, DJ. I can probably handle that.
I own that name. Let's go for it.
Yeah. All right.
Oh man.
Yeah. It's incredible. With the people that are just calling to want to be a part of this thing. And now Mark Henry is a part of our company. It's just it just keeps going and going and going.
You got Teddy Long as the GM. I love Teddy Long, man.
Teddy's a great guy. Like I said, he and Kevin and I kind of put things together, and we work closely together, and it's been an absolute pleasure working with those guys. I've known Kevin a long time. He's one of the greatest minds in our business.
Yes, he is.
And Teddy, he and I both have the same kind of background. He started out as a referee and kind of worked his way up to other roles in the business, and that's kind of what I've done myself. And it's just been a great thing to work with those guys, and because we all think pretty much the same way, and they're so creative, and we all want the same things, and there's no bickering and fighting and pulling and all that kind of thing. It's just all going the same direction, and it's been such a great experience to this point, and I anticipate that it's just going to continue to grow.
Absolutely.
Man, I mean, you guys got some great stuff going on, and you guys,
Yeah.
this huge show you got going on. I mean, I remember the very first episode I watched. It was a, I want to say it was the Roddy Piper, the Piper's Pit he did. I think it was like I watched it like a year ago. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
And it was like a Piper's Pit thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, you're talking about you're talking about the grappler.
No. Well, I know Piper did one. I know Piper did it in Paris, Texas. I know that, but I know Grappler's been on your show. I've seen him. I've actually talked to him about it.
Yeah. Lenny, he's a good friend of mine, and
he's a good dude.
And he'll be in and out a little bit with us, and actually, Roddy Piper's daughter is working with us, Teal Piper.
Teal, yeah.
Yeah, and we got a lot of second generation people that are kind of coming in now, and having different roles. Lacey is actually starting her own podcast, and she's promoting SWE on that, and then we have I do a weekly podcast with Hannibal.
Hannibal TV, right?
That's right.
On Hannibal TV every Tuesday night at 8:00 Central Time. We do one, have a guest on every week, and it's called Inside SWE Fury, and that's been going really great. We've got our own app now, and our own YouTube channel. We just announced this last week that you can actually become a member on the YouTube channel. You can come on and watch anytime, but there's a membership channel also with a YouTube where you can get, I think it's $4.99 a month or something. Yeah, and you get the shows. I mean, you get the live shows, and this is just unbelievable.
Absolutely,
you guys are growing in leaps and bounds, man. I mean,
let's
talk about Charlie Haas as the champ. You got a former WWE guy who's well known.
Yeah, I've known Charlie a long time, and he's a lot of people think he's off his rocker, but he's he's one of the most intense guys I've ever seen in my career, and of course he has that amateur background, so he can take somebody apart in a lot of different ways, and he's not afraid to do it. And that's Charlie, man. He's making an impact for sure.
Oh, he sure is, man. I mean, man, like I said, you got Tim Storm, you got Rodney Mack. Melina just debuted, isn't she? Is Melina part of your company now?
Melina's with us now. She has a surprise guest on this next TV taping, and it's from what I understand, it's going to be quite a shock to people. And so things keep coming. Mills Martes is coming back next month. Hernandez is part of it. He's coming in. I'm trying to remember everybody now.
Hold on. You said Hernandez is coming, correct?
Yes.
Oh man. Okay.
He's actually going to be in Canton this Saturday night in Canton, Texas. We've got a TV taping there. And he will be there on that one. Oh my goodness, Will all day. we've got a loaded card, man. It's just the whole roster is loaded.
Man, if you want to get tickets to the Canton, I mean, man, March 20th, Saturday, it's going to be off the chain. Canton Convention, Canton Civic Center. Say that 5 times fast.
Try that. Go to SWEfury.com and you can find just about all the information there. And another thing we're doing before every TV taping, that morning before that, we run a clinic. And Rodney Mack and Jazz are our main trainers. They have the dog pound down in San Antonio.
Yep.
And they're there for those things, and of course, I take part in that myself. Mark Henry takes part of that. Kevin, Teddy, several of the guys that Niles Plock, Adam Asher, all those guys are usually a part of
Adam
that
Asher, I
training.
love that guy.
Yeah, so they get they get a lot of attention for just a 1 day camp, and we have 40 and 50 guys at every one of them, and we've used guys from the camp on our TV. Yeah, in fact, on every TV we've done so far, somebody on that camp has ended up on that TV that night, and a couple of guys, a tag team. Actually started out going to our camps, and now they have our tag team titles.
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah. So you
never know
what's going to. Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. If you want to go to the Pro Wrestling Camp and Tryout in Canton, Texas, starts at 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And the camp fee is only $49.95. Man, that includes admission to the camp, the admission to the meet and greet, and admissions to the TV taping. So you get to go watch the taping. You get to have a former NWA World Champion who was also the North American Champion. You got Jack Stain. You got James Beard, the referee extraordinaire. You got freaking Teddy Long. Man, you got Hall of Famers like Teddy Long. Freaking Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. You got Jazz. And you got the SWE television champion, the Red Dog himself, Rodney Effin Mack. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to, if you ever wanted to be a professional wrestler, this is the place to go.
Or
and
if
I
you
put it up there.
aspiring, or if you're a current wrestler even, and you're just looking to, find a little bit more exposure, this is the way to do it.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's really the purpose of this. We separate in groups. We get some of the first timers or the guys that haven't been around very long. We put them in a group and train them differently than we do the ones that have been around and actually started and had some training. And like I said, some of those guys end up on our TV every time. And this, we're not trying to take the place of their regular trainings. In fact, a lot of the trainers from different training centers bring their guys to us on that 1 day, just so they can get a different perspective and get that experience of being around some of the guys you just named, and get that kind of exposure to those guys. And it's not just that, but we also have direct ties with some major organizations, obviously. And there's a lot of advantages to being a part of SWE Fury right now, and in coming to our camp. So, I love to teach. That's one of the things I really love to do, and I enjoy those camps a lot. I'm really busy on that day because we've got our TV coming up and all that kind of thing. But I'll float around from one place to the other and stick my nose in, and it's something I've always enjoyed doing, and it's been great response for it.
I'll tell you this, James, and I tell people this all the time. Like, there were times in the NWA where I was like, I want to take it to the next level. I don't know what to do, how to get there, what to do. And I would call you, I would text you and say, hey, James, give me some advice. Always gave me some really solid, good advice. And, when you came to BCW and, you were there for the world title match, like I tell you, like, I don't mark out for wrestlers. Like, I've been in this business 28 years. I pretty much know everybody. So it doesn't really, I don't freak out like that. But the fact that you were there to referee the match, I told it was like, even when in the ring, I'm like nervous as shit. I'm like,
yeah, you were.
I was like, I don't want to screw up, dude. James is here. I don't want to fuck up.
Oh, I remember. I remember vividly.
I appreciate that.
That's why I kept saying.
It means a lot to me, really. It does.
I was like, it was ridiculous.
I like seeing guys elevate themselves, and it's a big deal to me to be a part of that, and to try to help guys get to the next level and just be as good as they can be. That's the main thing. And we've got some great trainers. I mean, the Dog Pound down there is our official training center with Rodney Mack and Jazz. That's in San Antonio, and and also Thunder Rosa is one of our trainers down there.
Yes, she is
So,
absolutely
and we
amazing.
yeah, and we actually have they're kind of our sister promotion, the Mission Pro that
Mission
she
Pro,
started
yeah.
down there. Yeah, and so we work together, and it's just a great experience to be around professionals who really know what they're doing and have the same. They're kind of like-minded, I guess, in what they want to try to achieve in this business. And I'm at that point now in my career. I've been doing this for so long that I want to leave something behind that's worthwhile.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully I help a few people do that. And also this thing with SWE Fury, it's become a passion. It's something that I want to when I walk away at some point, or somebody kicks me out, or whatever happens, I fall over. Skandar Akbar used to say you can't retire from this business. You either die or quit getting booked. So
Exactly.
when one of those things
talk
happens
about
to
Carrie
me, I hope
Flock.
that I've left something behind, that means something.
That's so funny you say that too. I was just thinking the same thing the other day. I was talking to Kevin Sullivan about it, as a matter of fact, and he's like, "Yeah, the only way out of this business is death." or
that's
or
it. That's the only way. That's the only way you get out of it, which is fine. I think it's a lifetime passion for me, for sure. I've been doing it a long time, and I still love it, and it doesn't grow old.
Once it's in your blood, it's there forever.
I tell you,
yeah, it really is. That's a fact. Yeah.
Me and Tony were talking about it, and like when wrestling starts back up, and I'm already traveling. Like I was just in Tennessee, with Sir Mo doing the OIWA stuff. So I mean, like it's I'm still traveling. I'm going to be out there again, this week. Things are progressing as things are starting to open, and everyone is starting to go back to work, and life is starting to become normal again.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, whatever that the new normal is, whatever that's going to be. But the professional wrestling industry as a whole is changing, it's evolving. And with the whole no fans in the arena thing, and now 25, 50%, 100%, eventually it's going to be 100% open. With those things come into fruition, me and Tony talked about it. We're like, well, when BCW Worldwide opens back up, what do we do with the podcast? This podcast, just like SWE Fury, has taken off. I mean, we're on like iHeartRadio, we're on Spotify, we're on Google, we're on Apple,
it's crazy.
Pandora, just all these crazy things happening over like a year.
Exactly.
So with that being said, when wrestling comes back, this podcast will still be here, and we'll keep evolving, we'll keep growing, because this industry needs to keep evolving and keep growing.
Sure
you're right. The pandemic has affected a lot of people's lives, and has changed a lot of things in the way we do a lot of things. But I'm a firm believer that wrestling is meant to be in front of fans, and that's something that we're going to continue to try to do and try to build. And we took the time that we had, and the situation that we had, and we tried to create something that nobody else is doing right now. And that's that's our goal, is to create that fan base for SWE Fury, and they can walk out there and watch us on TV, or they can come to our shows, and they're not going to be embarrassed by it, and they're not going to have to be ashamed to say, I went to a wrestling product. They can go in there and say that they saw something that they can believe in and trust, and that's our goal, and that's what we're trying to do.
Man, well, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is some amazing stuff going on. You can look them up at www.swfury.com. That's their TV website. You can visit their page. I mean, God, this is amazing. You can look them up on Facebook right there. You can look them up on Twitter. Just like, click, and subscribe. Watch the shows. And if you're a professional wrestler and you want to be part of this, this is something great. The Clash in Canton is this weekend. It's going to be a great show. Like I said, you got legends, you got Hall of Famers like like James Beard, who, if you look right there at the top right corner, you see that Hall of Fame plaque from Cauliflower Alley. That was a great night, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. It was a wonderful night.
You know, you get to see, you know, Mark Henry, Christy Jane. She's another one. You know,
Yeah, that's our
she's
female.
really good. You know,
Yes,
Rodney
yeah, well,
Mack.
and that's something I should have already talked about. You know, our female division is it's really coming along. That's something that we've really concentrated on, and Jazz actually runs that. She's
Mhm.
she's the head of our females division, and you know, a female wrestler wants to get involved with SWE, they need to go through Jazz, and a lot of times she'll tell them, you need to come to San Antonio and get in the ring with me for a little while.
That's what
And,
Miranda said.
Yeah, let me tell you something. You get in the ring with Jazz, you've been in the ring with somebody, and
Mhm.
You couldn't
you know,
ask for a better person to be in.
oh, absolutely wonderful. She and Rodney both are great. They're like my family, really. I've known them since they first. In fact, I worked both of their first matches, and I've known them ever since. And we've
They're
been
really
close
good
ever
people.
since. Yeah, yeah.
Like ladies and gentlemen, they're really good people in the ring, really good people behind the scenes, but like in general life, they are really good people.
Yes, they are.
I talk to Jazz all the time, and and Rodney's such a great dude too. Like they're really down to earth.
Yes,
like
absolutely. Yeah.
I hate to coin the phrase, but they're salt of the earth people.
They are. They are. They absolutely are. And like I said, they're family to me for real. That we're that close. And you know, we've got such a great thing going there with them. And like I said, with Thunder Rosa being a part of that as well. And our ladies division is just really, it's exciting. Malaya Hosaka is one of our gals that's coming in. She's one of the experienced gals, you know, and she can take it to you too, you know. We got Rosemary coming in on this next one.
I saw that. Yeah, love
Amber Nova. I'm trying to remember who all. It's you know, it's something that we're proud of. We're proud that the ladies have really stepped up, and you know, Miranda was our champion for a while, and it's a great thing to see. You know, they get in there and fight just like the guys do. It's not, you know, it's not a beauty contest with those gals.
Isn't Miranda the longest reigning champion, I believe?
Well, actually, she was our. Well, I don't know. Jazz had it first.
I think it was like 115 days or something like that.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, I don't keep up with that very well, but yeah. Miranda's coming along. She's a tough gal. You know, she got a little bit of her daddy in her, and I knew him well.
You ain't kidding.
Yeah.
I remember her at Texoma Pro. Yeah, I know she's a she's a handful. But she's also very humble too.
Yep.
Yeah, she's a great gal, and I know that whole family. You know, I know her mother and dad and her sister, and she's her brother. You know,
her brother.
Yeah, good family.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the best referee I can tell you right now in the history of professional wrestling. I'm not going to just blow smoke up your ass. This is like legit. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. This is the legendary James Beard, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll be right back with more of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. James, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
I enjoyed it, man. Anytime, and we'll send you some guys up here to promote our deal too. So,
hey,
thank you very much for having me.
We're excited to be part of the SWE family with helping you guys out.
Thank you so much.
And we'll be right back with more, ladies and gentlemen, with the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Drive me insane! I'll be cruised on lanes, I've been taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! I'll be cruised on lanes, I've been taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! I'll be
When you want to get your hair cut, you go get your hair cut right. You head down to Big D's Barbershop. Big D's Barbershop, Vancouver, Washington's best and brightest. 1019 Main Street, Vancouver, Washington, where you can go get your hair lined up, cuts, fades, shampoos, conditions, and all the great things that go with supporting a local barbershop in a local business area. You can also reach them online at www.bigdsbarbershop.com. Go get your haircut right.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. So, man, completely awesome.
The first hour of the show, my God.
Man, it's been amazing, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Man.
You start with Lei'D Tapa, and then you got James Beard. I mean, damn.
This has been a fire promo. This has been a fire show, man. Like, man, and it's only the first hour, ladies and gentlemen. We still got 30 more minutes, so we can just, man. Let's talk about tonight. Let's talk about fucking AEW.
I was hoping you would bring this up, especially once we mentioned Thunder Rosa during the interview with James, and holy shit.
Right? Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this right now. I know a bunch of people who are pro WWE guys, and they shit on the product all the time for AEW. I mean, they're like, oh, well, they were excited when Christian showed up at the fucking Royal Rumble. Oh my God, Christian's back. Oh my God, Christian's back. But the moment he signs with AEW, oh look, they're just signing an old WWE guy. Or, AEW, WWE is the best company in the world because they have this, and this, and they can't keep a storyline going for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
But here AEW's got storylines that are taking a whole fucking year to develop.
Yes. The ultimate slow burn.
Exactly. The good stuff, man. Good stuff.
You don't get that much anymore.
But tonight, these same people that I'm talking about badmouth AEW for putting a women's main event on. And that main event smoked. Like, you know what? I want to smoke. And that was the smoke. Lights friggin' out match. I'm gonna tell you right now, Britt Baker, best goddamn women's heel in all of professional wrestling.
I think Britt Baker earned a ton of respect tonight.
Yes, Lord.
Yes,
she did.
Thunder Rosa, we already knew how good she was, but we were not anticipating this.
Jesus Christ, man. That was better. Look. I'm not a pro AEW or WWE person. I'm a pro wrestling person.
Same.
And that match kicked all the ass.
Yeah, that's been
every part of the ass it kicked.
That's been my favorite match in AEW history so far. I mean,
man.
I would even go so far as to say, you just had a barbed wire explosion match, with Kenny Omega and John Moxley, and I would go so far as to say this blew that out of the water, not just in terms of just how good the match was, but in terms of sheer violence.
Yes, look, ladies and gentlemen, it was probably one of the most violent things I've ever watched on television.
Oh, and it was so good.
It was pretty bad. I mean, and when I say pretty bad, I mean it was good. It was, in Vince McMahon's own words, Tony. What was it?
That's such good shit.
It surely was, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what? Let's start with this. Let's start with this. At the top of the fucking show, the first match out, Penta versus Cody. Pentagon, Penta L0M, wherever the hell his name is today. Pentagon.
L0M.
Pentagon and Cody. Man, okay. Look, Cody hit the crossroads like 3 times. Okay, Cody eventually stole the win, but the Death Triangle and the Nightmare Family brawled all over the fucking building. Like, start to show out hot.
I know, right?
Hot.
You got Death Triangle, and then you got Dustin Rhodes Gun Club, QT Marshall showing up a little bit late, but more about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But then you got Jade Cargill. She had a quick squash match. Jade Cargill is a beast of a woman.
Yep.
Not really sold on her wrestling yet, but she's got the size, she's got the look.
And she's coming from a professional basketball background, so she's still extremely new. She hasn't embarrassed herself by any means, so I would say that there's a lot of promise there.
Well, she also was at the Performance Center for a while with WWE, so it is what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, this right here just took the cake for me. So excited because everyone was talking about a 4 Horsemen rendition. Well, what we got tonight was the Pinnacle. And I love the name Pinnacle. MJF with fucking Tully Blanchard, FTR, and Sean Spears. Man, they take out
Wardlow.
Yeah, well, I forgot Wardlow. You can't forget that big, humongous, massive man.
278 pounds of sheer force and dominance.
Right. They made fun of Jericho. Jericho has a separated pectoral muscle. They destroyed the Inner Circle. But FTR called themselves the only Grand Slam champions in the history of wrestling and the best tag team in the world. Man, talk about taking shots at the Bucks. Oh, man. And then you got Sean Spears. Sean Spears is great. Okay, let's just call it what it is. Sean Spears is fucking great. So you put FTR and you put Sean Spears together with the best mouth in the business. And you know why I say he has the best mouth in the business? Because his face is so goddamn punchable.
Oh yeah, God yes.
Yeah, like you just wanted to slap the shit out of this guy all the time.
He somehow manages to have a more punchable face than Ted Wheeler.
Wow. That is hell.
I said it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I said it.
That's really punchable. If you don't know who Ted Wheeler is,
I hate Ted Wheeler, so that's saying something.
If you don't know who Ted Wheeler is, Google Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler. Yeah. You'll see.
Better off. Please don't.
Don't do it.
Especially if you've eaten recently.
Wow. so let's talk about the next match. Hardy Incorporated. Okay, versus the Jurassic Express in Bear Country. Wow. Okay. The match literally 30 seconds before the shit hit the fan. Oh man, the heels beat the holy piss out of them. But this thing right here, oh my God, let me tell you something. Matt Hardy and that twist of fate, perfect. Because he killed Marco Stunt.
Speaking of punchable faces, Marco Stunt.
He killed Marco Stunt, man. Oh my God. I was so excited about that. I was like, do it again. Oh man. Then we go from one crazy tag team match to probably a tag team match that has a lot of story.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And we're talking about Good Brothers, Doc Gallows,
Moxley and Kingston
versus Moxley and Kingston.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's just call it what it is. WWE couldn't put on a story like this. I mean, look, the other night, the New Day won their 11th tag team championship by beating, what was it? Rudolph? Is that what they call themselves?
I don't even know.
What?
I don't pay attention.
Regardless, you have tag team. No, they beat the Hurt Business, which really fucking sucks because
that's right.
They took the belts off of the Hurt Business, who were the most dominant heel faction on Raw. So what do you do when you have a great heel faction on Raw? Like you have a great, like this was the Black Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
I know what it was. I know what it is. Black History Month is over.
Uh,
That's what it is.
pretty
Take the tag belts off the two guys. We all know that Drew McIntyre is winning the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah, and again, this is why I just can't be bothered with Vince's product. I mean, never mind the fact that, he's supporting a man who literally incited a riot. I mean,
Yeah, who tried to take over the country, but you know what it is, what it is.
pretty much.
So the Good Brothers versus
Yeah.
Kingston and Moxley. This was like everyone knows that Moxley and Kingston have a friendship from like back in CZW, back in like all the old school days.
Yep, going back many, many years, going back when they were coming up and doing the death matches and beating the unholy shit out of each other.
That's right. So back in those days, these guys carried their friendship over to AEW. Talk about fucking storytelling.
Yeah.
Wow. Kenny Omega and the Invisible Hand with the whole 69 me last week.
Oh my god.
Totally made me laugh my ass off a little bit.
I mean, you had to poke fun at it.
Well, no. Did you see the promo with the Bucks? And he walked in with this shirt that says fine for leg slaps. But best fucking shirt, man. Best shirt.
Yep.
But
okay, so
here's a attack, during the
here's a question. So since we've got all this talk about leg slaps and all that stuff, is BCW Worldwide going to institute anything about that? I mean, we got some guys who definitely love to slap their legs on some shots. You know what I mean?
I need to go grab my wallet real quick so I can pay the fines.
Yeah, I'm guilty
man.
too, so I'll be right there with you.
You know what's so funny? They do Vince does the whole leg slap fine and like right on Raw last night. You saw. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so Good Brothers Kingston Moxley, the Good Brothers lost the Impact Wrestling Tag Team belts to Finn Juice the other night, so they're already pissed off. They come into this match and they beat the shit out of them from the gate. They try to hit Moxley with the Magic Killer, but Moxley steals the win with the WWE's top finisher of 2020, the surprise roll up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Simon Miller from What Culture did a counter. And
the old small package.
They did the small package literally 100 times, and it was like August or September. And Simon Miller said, "I'm done." It's like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. It's crazy. But so Kenny and the Good Brothers, they deal the whole, the Bucks at the ring. They talk the heels down because the heels were attacking them. They were too sweet of. The Bucks walk away. So now the Bucks, are gonna end up facing Gallows and Anderson. We all know that's gonna happen.
Yep.
Sting finally gets a fucking promo.
I know, right?
For weeks, Sting's been trying to talk, and every time him and Tony Schiavone come out, somebody comes out, namely Taz and his boys. They come out, and they fucking ruin it. Now, people were talking about Sting being too old, and that cinematic match they have with the street fight, pretty solid.
It was.
Pretty solid.
It wasn't bad.
Pretty solid. Now, Darby came out with him, saying he'd only defended the TNT title 3 times. That kind of pissed him off. He wants to be a fighting champion. So he starts like, hey, I'll fight anybody. Open challenge. So who comes out? The fucking Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer.
Yes.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
The Snake Roberts.
Oh my God, man. I'll tell you, So, it looks like it's going to end up being then Taz came out.
Yeah.
Taz and Brian Cage came out.
Yep.
You know, Kay says he was really impressed with Sting during the street fight. Kay says he respects Sting, but Ricky Starks, the little dick that he is, so Sting is not an icon off the bat. Just all types of crazy shit. So you can probably end up seeing Sting and Sting and Lance Archer. You're gonna end up seeing Darby Allin and Lance Archer. You're gonna see Sting and Ricky Starks. Man,
I wonder if they're gonna bring up the history that Sting and Jake Roberts have.
probably. And me personally, I would.
I would too, especially so. I don't know if some of you guys remember there was an event in 1992, Halloween Havoc. It was Sting and Jake Roberts in the main event. Spin the wheel, make the deal. It ended up being they ended up getting a coal miner's glove match,
Coal miner's
which
gloves
is a
match.
BCW worldwide specialty.
Tex Thompson.
Yep. So if you remember, if you haven't seen the match, basically the ending ended up being Sting was able to acquire the glove, gut punch Jake Roberts, but Roberts had his Cobra in hand.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that Cobra ended up biting Jake right on his face. But this wasn't like a fucking rubber Cobra. This thing was latched on. You saw blood streaming down his fucking cheek. Like there was like, you want to talk about blurring the lines?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was one of those moments early in wrestling where it's like, this is, it's probably,
This is when wrestling is real, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but and then that happens, I'm like, the fuck was that? What did I just watch?
Well, with that being said, look, probably the best cruiserweight wrestler in all of professional wrestling, Rey Fenix. My God, Rey Fenix destroys this guy. I don't even know who the guy was. The match ended like that.
Angelico.
Rey Fenix is fucking awesome. Who?
Angelico.
It was Angelico? No, it was Angelico.
Yeah, it was Angelico versus Rey Fenix.
I thought Angelico was in the. Oh no, that's right. Okay, you're right. I'm thinking of Butcher and Blade and Bunny were part of the Matt Hardy match.
Yeah,
yeah. So he destroys Angelico, who was also a Lucha Underground star, who was really good. Rey Fenix is fucking amazing.
A lot of Lucha Underground
alumni.
Alumni, yeah, and that's actually pretty nice to see. And
look, man, Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. I cannot say anything. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this. I'm not going to talk about that match.
Yeah, you need to go watch it.
You need to go and watch it. Yeah. They literally got a standing ovation from the audience after the match was over.
A very well-earned standing ovation. It was remarkable. Like I said, it's easily my favorite match in AEW history.
And I'm going to go on record and say this. You guys talk about Sasha, you talk about Bayley, you talk about Sasha and Bianca Belair, and you talk about Charlotte Flair and all these WWE matches that you can fucking see the outcome. Like these matches are so predictable that they're lame compared to this fucking match tonight.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's part of what made it so good. Like you couldn't tell where this match was going to go.
Yeah.
It was completely unpredictable from start to finish. And it speaks to just how good, Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa really are. And
hats off, ladies. Hats off.
And like I said, if Britt Baker didn't have, any respect to, before this, she sure as fuck does now.
People are like, oh, she's just Adam Cole's girl. No, Britt Baker is tonight she cemented herself as the it face, the it factor, the face of the women's division. Not Hikaru Shida, not Nyla Rose. No, she cemented her legacy as the face of AEW's women's division. She was the first woman signed to AEW.
She was.
She earned her paycheck tonight, and she earned the respect that the industry is going to give her tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Even the WWE guys even the guys in the chat that I'm in that just bash AEW were like, dude, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So,
and I will admit, I'm self-admittingly, I'm not a huge fan of AEW, but that match was head and shoulders above anything WWE has put on in years. Literally years.
Can't say too much about him. Tell you, he's so great.
Yeah. Please do yourself a favor. Watch the match. It is it's too good for words. It's honestly, you got to see it too.
Oh, you know what? Let's talk about something really quick. So WrestleMania 37 is coming up.
Yep.
Tampa, Florida, 2021. Dallas, 2022. LA, 2023.
Yep.
All of these shows, like so during this time, WrestleMania week, that is when every independent wrestler in the world converges in one specific area, because every fan in the world is there for WrestleMania. And that's where most people get seen. I wrestled 15 matches in 3 days in WrestleMania in Orlando. So I know, like,
a lot of friends of BCW Worldwide, they have they're going to be there this year as well. I mean, go look up and see what Funny Bone's going to be doing down in Florida.
Exactly.
And,
GCW in Florida.
Yep.
But here's the thing. Ring of Honor is doing something that no promotion has done. They have what's called a pure wrestling title.
Yes.
Well, Ring of Honor on March 27th is going to have the first ever Ring of Honor pure wrestling gauntlet match.
Interesting.
Now, Tony, explain the rules of the pure wrestling title.
So, pure wrestling rules is actually something that I've tried to pitch to BCW Worldwide in the past. So each wrestler has 3 rope breaks to stop submission holds and pinfalls during a match. After you've used up all your rope breaks, then you're basically, if you get caught in a hold and you try to get to the ropes, I mean, you're dead. You're done. You cannot get a break that way. No closed fist punches are allowed in a pure match. Only open-handed slaps or chops to the face are allowed. Punches to other parts of the body other than low blows are permitted. First use of a closed fist gets you a warning. Basically, if you're familiar with soccer, that basically gets you a yellow card. Second one is essentially a red card where one of your rope breaks, you're penalized. And if you're already out of rope breaks and you get caught a second time throwing a closed fist, you are disqualified. You lose the match. And instead of the normal 10 count on the outside, there is a 20 count instead. That about sums up. And the other rule, something to keep in mind also that does play into these matches, you can lose your championship on a disqualification or a count out. So if you end up getting way too heated and you're out of rope breaks and you decide to throw that second punch and you catch the guy right in the mouth, you lose your belt.
Pure wrestling championship. Can you just imagine? I mean, and now Jonathan Gresham, I think, is the pure wrestling champion.
That's right.
And that guy is amazing.
Yes, he is.
But let's talk about someone else that's amazing.
Octopus.
That's right. Let's talk about someone else that's amazing. For all of our MMA fans who are our combat sport fans that listen to this podcast, next week, Drakkar Klaus. It's going to be on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. Not on the Wednesday night show.
No.
But we're gonna actually have a special interview with him. And I say exclusive interview with him for the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast.
You will not get this anywhere else.
So you need to like, click, and subscribe. You can go to Pandora. You can go to iHeartRadio. You can go to Spotify. You can go to Google. You can go to, what Apple Podcasts. You can go to Podchaser. You can actually join the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast Facebook group.
Yep.
And you can get exclusive videos like that, backstage access to everything. When BCW Worldwide opens, you'll have backstage, all this great stuff. But this gentleman, brutalizing people in the UFC. We're talking the best lightweight in the industry right now. On the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. It'll be myself and our combat sports specialist himself, Adam, according to Woods. We'll be joined here, and we're going to do this amazing interview, and we're going to bring it live to you guys.
Beautiful. I love it.
Next week, also on the podcast, Northern California wrestling superstar Rick Luxury will be in the house. Rick Luxury is a friend of the channel.
Yes.
I'm going to give a quick shout out to my girl, Faith Jeffries, Faithy J, Wild Superstar. My boy, one half of the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Champions. That's right, my boy Shane Taylor. Shout outs to him. Shout outs to my girl Amber O'Neal. Shout out to my boy Sir Mo and the OIWA, the new leader in sports entertainment.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to James Beard and Lei'D Tapa for joining us here on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. Just a lot of great people that are involved with this, man. And I'm so excited to see what happens next.
You and me both.
Shout out to my boy Brian Waters. He's also a podcaster. He'll be live here on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast soon.
Yep.
You can like us. You can find us on Twitter. Find us on Twitter.
Twitter account. Yep. Just started that up today, in fact.
That's right. We also have Matt Wiskowski. He's also a former UFC. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, also from Bellator and Elite. He will be shooting an interview with us also.
Beautiful.
So, we had our boy Tyson Dukes on Tyson Dukes on.
Oh, Tyson Dukes interview was fantastic.
Great guy, man. Just great guy. Like, there's so much great stuff happening here at the Pro Wrestling Podcast here, ladies and gentlemen. You can always pull up a seat. The Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast live every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can like, click, and subscribe on the Anchor app, anchor.fm, or as my boy Tony likes to tell people,
you can always watch it on local TV in the Portland and Vancouver areas, the whole Portland metro area on Xfinity or CenturyLink TV. Every Monday night, 10 p.m. on Channel 11 on both formats. If you miss that one, you can watch it on Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Channel 22 Xfinity, Channel 8002 on CenturyLink Prism. And if you miss that one, you got one more shot at watching it every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Channel 23 Xfinity, Channel 8003 Prism.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been another exciting week here on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your boy, the franchise player, Double B Bad Blood. With my boy here, Tony, always knows what's good to Burns. Thank you very much for joining us, ladies. Tony, you have a spectacular weekend, brother.
I shall do that, and you do the same.
Peace, ladies and gentlemen.